Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, as cool as it is, felt like a watered down transformation, making it less unique. Plus, now we all have to hear the question, why didn't he use it against Beerus? I know I'm gonna sound like I'm pandering or caping for the series. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Welcome to 2025, nigga.
It's going to be a bigger year, a better year, but regardless, you all may have actually become stupider. Today, we're going to find that out with your hot takes. OG Broly is the best Broly. Everybody doesn't need a deep backstory. Sometimes Kiss is all you need. He was the most popular non-canon DBZ villain for a reason. So that's fine and all, but like, it's a weird argument to make. First of all, this is a weird argument to make considering that you're comparing him to a character that did become canon. So it's like, I mean, I guess that's the feat, but like you've disqualified Super Broly from having a point like that because he's canon. Being said, though, I won't disagree with you. He definitely is. A lot of people, for some reason, again, think I hate Broly. I don't hate any of these characters unless I say I hate them. But in terms of him being a great character or the better one of the two, I don't necessarily agree. Because even if their backstories were congruent, I've just thought that the Super Broly was cooler. And I'm in the minority there. I understand that's where the comment section is going to lose their shit. I just think he's cooler. I do. I think the way he beat the shit out of God Vegeta out of nowhere, the way he was built up to getting stronger and stronger, that shit was cool. I think when he was just manhandling my glorious king, pause if needed, I think was fucking cool. I think when he got mad because Frieza shot his pops, I think that was fucking cool. As a person that is like about to genuinely finish all the movies, gang, I don't know what else to tell y'all. The nigga Super Broly is cool as shit. You just gotta watch it. I think the reason why Z Broly fans don't give him the credit of being a cool character, and maybe even potentially cooler than Z Broly, is because Z Broly has the rock star themes and the nostalgia. But Super Broly, when you're watching the movie, he's a fantastic, like not even just on some backstory shit. I don't have to make that argument. He's a cool ass character. So I personally prefer Super Broly, considering that, in my opinion, he does have the significantly better backstory, as well as I also think he's just straight up cooler. But that's just me. I understand the cool part. I'm in the minority. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, as cool as it is, felt like a watered down transformation, making it less unique. Plus now we all have to hear the question, why didn't he use it against Beerus? I know I'm going to sound like I'm pandering or caping for the series. And I hope that you all have realized that as a person that has critiqued original Dragon Ball Z, Super, and GT, that I'm not saying this because I like Dragon Ball. But I guess my hot take is the idea that Vegeta used Super Saiyan 3, so now nothing makes sense. I low-key see how they can easily make that, not true. I'm not going to lie. You can easily make it a thing where he trained to unlock the form, realized that it's useless, and just said, yeah, I'm not going to use it again because it's fucking useless. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, I suppose, if he really wanted to punch Beerus really hard, then yeah, he could have went Super Saiyan 3. But again, if he thinks the form is fucking useless, I'm personally not mad that he only uses Super Saiyan 2 there. I'm not mad that he would just practice with that form so much so that he's able to surpass what the hypothetical Super Saiyan 3 transformation at that point in time would have done for him or anything like that. Because again, he thinks the form's useless. I think he literally states somewhere in the anime or manga that he thinks the form is useless. So I personally don't think that him transforming into Super Saiyan 3, let alone the fact that Delilah is still going on, that they can easily just have him talk about, yeah, that shit, I mean, it was cool, but like, probably shouldn't have did that. There's multiple ways to get out of this, in my personal opinion. Let alone even if they don't address it straight up via a quote or anything like that. I think it's already kind of pseudo explained as to why he wouldn't just continue developing Super Saiyan 3. But I think it's not as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be. The best way to fix Zamasu as a villain is to move the future arc after the Tournament of Power, with showing the buildup of his disgust for Goku and the mortals between the Universe 6 and 7 tournament, as well as the Tournament of Power. It gives him more motivation to hate Goku and choose to steal his body. Sure, I guess that would maybe boost it a tad more. Maybe. But I'm not saying a bigger sample size of watching Son Goku wouldn't help. But like that's not the issue. I think we all legitimately agree that he fucking hates Goku, that he hates mortals. Hell, I go a step further, and this is a reference that some of you guys may not know, but then again, I've forced the bloodline rules jokes down your goddamn fucking brains, right? For my WWE fans, I was trying to think how to phrase it. For my WWE fans, you remember when Drew McIntyre won Money in the Bank and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, bro, now he gets to cash in, and now he's gonna try to cash in or whatever the fuck, and then CM Punk's gonna cost him, and it's so peak." Gang, I did not care. I did not care. It was just useless. It was no point in doing that because everyone knew that Drew and CM Punk fucking hated each other. Everyone knew it. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So like, sure. You would increase the fire of hatred that Zamasu has for Goku if you like made it a more played out thing. Like if Zamasu was stalking Goku the whole time. Sure. But does it really help how I view the character? No, because I already understand and accept that he hates Goku. It doesn't really change anything for me. I think there's multiple ways to fix Zamasu, but that I disagree with. Vegeta Final Atonement felt wasted. If he would have waited until Kid Buu to use it and killed him, it would have been a decent way for Vegeta to go out in Dragon Ball and give Vegeta fans his moment of beating the big bad villain. Nah, that wouldn't have cooked. That's just one of them things where you like, essentially someone wants, like, a lot of fans are like glorified merchants. a lot of fans are glorified merchants of the norm, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is, yeah, Vegeta sacrificing himself, actually dying, and Buu actually dying. So it's like, oh, it's the ultimate sacrifice. Yeah, sure. One, y'all would have called that kind of like predictable, and or you would have called it like typical. But two, I think it worked out. I think it worked out very well. I think the fact that he did it and it didn't work kind of speaks to like, damn, that Buu nigga's a problem. but it's not the worst ending. It's not the worst ending, okay? I can see a world where they do all this other shit. Buu survives. They go there. The Earth doesn't want to give Goku the spirit bomb, so Vegeta sacrifices himself. I can see how that works, right? But I think there's also lessons for Vegeta to have still learned. Yes, the character of Vegeta all along being a good guy, that boat was tied, but there's still other lessons Vegeta needs to learn. He still needs to learn his true path to power. He still needs to learn how much that, how to essentially get stronger, not just get a W for the sake of school board, but get stronger. He needs to learn that his strength comes from the strength in others, even though he doesn't necessarily have like 15 people fucking with him. But Bulma and Trunks matter that much to him, and he's able to use those two to leverage himself, leverage his training or whatever, and get stronger. Furthermore, I don't like the idea of Vegeta getting this W that late, only because it kind of wouldn't make any sense too. It more than anything, it just doesn't really work out. So you're telling me Buu at the moment in time where he, one taps Gohan because of Zybes and Goku and Vegeta stop fighting, that they like don't kick his ass? because you're like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, so Goku just doesn't beat the shit out of Buu, or does Vegeta knock Goku out but then fights Buu and loses? And like, because that's what I'm saying. Like, you would have to write it to where they literally just don't do anything about Majin Buu out there. Like Buu is just out here zybing, and they're just like, fuck it, it's fine. like nobody fights the nigga. That's what I'm saying. So it just doesn't necessarily work in the story as well. Obviously, this guy is probably gonna simply say, or comment 232. Shout out the first comment 232 of 2025. Comment 232 is gonna say something like, "Well, I think he would change the story series." That's fine, but I just think it makes like the build up to that moment kind of impractical, especially if Goku has Super Saiyan 3 in the tuck and he can just beat the shit out of Buu the whole time. But you're not gonna have him knock out Goku, because if you have him knock out Goku, then Buu would kill Vegeta. But then you're gonna have a situation where someone stronger than Buu is not beating up Buu. It's just so fucking weird. So I think more than anything, it doesn't work. But I also think Vegeta as a character is not complete there. It just ties the bow on one of his character arcs. But I appreciate the hot take, and I can see how some people would disagree and like what you said. If you skip the Future Trunks arc, nothing really happens except for there being two Zenos now. Perfected Blue in the manga could be achieved by more training, and Zeno's power could be revealed the same way in a universe being erased. I mean, I think the point of it was to birth Zeno, kinda, in terms of continuity, but in terms of like everything else, I mean, yeah, I guess, but that's kind of like a good amount of villains per se, if that makes sense. Especially if you're gonna give a thing like, okay, and they could power up off screen. Like, for example, I'm not saying you're necessarily right. I'm not necessarily being obtuse with this, but like, I could say the Cell Saga, you delete it, it doesn't matter, because they just learned Super Saiyan 2 low key. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't like the idea that an arc doesn't matter because they can get stronger off screen and, like, you know, nobody died. Like, you feel me? Because at that point, only the Saiyan saga mattered because someone died. Only the Namek saga mattered because someone died. And then after those two resolutions, the Cell saga is literally fodder, and nobody died in the Buu saga. But I guess we found out what Super Saiyan 3 is, so low key that doesn't matter. And then you get to the God shit. I guess having Super Saiyan God is a big stepping stone. I think that in itself introduces a new character, so maybe that one works. And then you go to Revival of F. It doesn't really fucking matter because they kill Frieza anyway. So yeah, who cares? Universe 6 tournament. That one I'd probably say just straight up. Goku dies. Oh shit, I'm tripping. Goku does die. Oh shit, I am tripping. Yeah, all right, so fair. So those three arcs, yeah, boom. My apologies. Goku does fucking die. So yeah, anything so Namek, Saiyan, Cell, those niggas die. Buu saga doesn't fucking matter. Everybody comes back to life. You see what I'm saying? Like, if I had to minimalize all the arcs and the importances of certain things they did, yeah, a lot of shit doesn't matter. What I will say is Super has a major issue of, like, not tying every arc together. You know what I mean? I feel like Super, you could hit shuffle on it and most of the series would still work unless the Tournament of Power is first. You know what I mean? As long, like you could have Zamasu start Super, change the forms a little bit, then Frieza comes back, then Beerus shows up. You know what I'm saying? You change some logistics because obviously you don't have Beerus and Wheat just for that guy. Obviously, if they don't meet Beerus in time, yeah, you got to change some things. No shit. But majority of Super, it just feels like you could have it out of place. Like, genuinely. So I understand where this guy is coming from, but I just don't like the take that nothing happens in majority of these arcs, or at least for the reason that he had, especially given the point that, if they just power up off screen. Most, if not all of the mistakes in Super were power scaling issues. Beerus is 70%, Res F as well, Rage, etc. Even though power scaling was ruined in Z, there was very little power scaling issues that affected the writing. I don't necessarily think that it's just power scaling in Super, though. We just talked about just the timing of the arcs didn't really make sense. I think Super also at times flagrantly went for toys. For example, like Blue Goku, I think majority of Dragon Ball YouTubers who take their time to talk about the series consistently have had the take that I've had, which is, why is he blue? Other YouTubers, and whether they were debating, whether there was other problems with Super things, all of these people are saying the same shit, like, why is he blue? Super Saiyan Blue versus Krillin, that I don't really have an issue with. I know that's a scorcher of itself. Maybe that's my hot take of 2025 because it was obvious he's holding back. Like, obviously he's holding back. But even then, it's still not necessarily something that's, appealing to the viewer. Like, you don't got to piss the viewer off doing that, right? So, yeah, I don't necessarily think that Super's biggest mistake is power scaling issues. I just think, honestly, Super has a narrative that just, is all over the place. Like, you could shuffle the series. But I don't think power scaling isn't an issue. I just wouldn't call it the issue. Now, that was still OD. It really wasn't. Y'all glaze the shit out of that. Goku can transform and then hold his power back, 100%, especially given what Super Saiyan Blue is. Super Saiyan Blue, let alone Super Saiyan God, is kind of like almost in-tune energy control. He can turn his fucking power level down. It's really not a big fucking deal. It's really not a big fucking deal unless you just respectfully elementary school mind it. What was the point? The point is to put fear into Krillin, to show him that, this shit is about to get serious. Are you ready? Obviously, Krillin, who can't sense God Ki, would be like, oh shit, this nigga's for real. So that's why when they had the clash, you would think Krillin wouldn't even last a second. Hell, I'll spell it out for you, chat, and this is why I think you guys are being a little disingenuous. Goku in base would beat the fuck out of Krillin. So, of course, if Goku in base is holding back, it's hella reasonable to believe that Goku in Blue is holding back. It doesn't matter what Goku did. He's holding back. Because if he had to kill Krillin right then and there, he'd kill Krillin right then and there. That's why I think that whole thing is like one of the, I'm not saying dumb, but it is one of the more overreactionary takes that I've seen in the Dragon Ball community. Because it's like, duh, Goku's not trying to kill Krillin. What are we talking about? He would hilariously beat him. Goku has God Ki in base form. Or not God Ki. Goku absorb. Well, yeah, he does. But regardless, Goku is literally God essence in base. Krillin ain't even sniffing Like Super Saiyan 3 from the Buu Saga Goku. Why do you think that because he changed his hair color that he's still like try hard? It doesn't make any sense, man. I'm not, again, I don't think anybody that thinks that has an issue with that is stupid. We are all entitled to our opinions. But I do think that's just such a lazy way to view that. Oh, wow. He's in blue. Blue's supposed to have this actual multiply. Duh, nigga, he's holding back. The entirety of GT is carried by games, from Gogeta to Super Saiyan 4 to Super 17. I guarantee everyone who's complaining about Super 17 not being in Sparking Zero wouldn't have mained him. Okay, that's just a weird thing, and I also don't think that's true. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Nick, you can't say GT's carried by games, but then if they were in the game, nobody would pick them. That doesn't make sense. However, in terms of the series being carried by games, I think the games have enhanced certain things about GT. You know, obviously there's less filler. Hell, there's less episodes of every series in the games, let alone in GT. If you play Sparking Zero stories, it really just goes to the highlighted points of each saga, regardless of the character. So no shit. GT, if it has a lot of fluff, you cut the fluff, is going to look better in the game. That's not to say that I think Budokai Tenkaichi 2 did it better than Dragon Ball or no shit, but you get what I'm saying. Carried is where I disagree there because it kind of like, you know, got in the game in the first place. And this is why I keep making these points that I don't hate GT and you niggas one ear out the other until I laugh at something I don't like in GT. But this is what I'm talking about. Y'all can't say that GT is carried by the games, but then GT has enough motions to get in the games. That just logically doesn't make sense. Like, hey, gang, it's carried by Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta in the video game, but then Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta got in the video game. Now, if you want to say that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's Big Bang Kamehameha looks way better in the game than it did in person, absolutely, I think that's just true. I keep telling niggas that shit's a shower in the anime, but in the goddamn Budokai 2, especially in like fighters, that shit's gas. But in terms of like carry, no, I just think it enhances the experience a little bit, especially if like people are out here thinking Super 17's like cold or some shit. That nigga's ass. I never got the hype of Majin Vegeta. People make it out to be the most badass thing Vegeta's ever done when it's just him acting like a child to get what he wants because of how badly he wanted to fight Goku and was willing to kill innocents to do it. I'm not just trying to disagree with every take I see here, chat, but this is like the point. This is like the point. Like, the point is he's essentially being a big-ass man-child that wants to fight Goku, but then he realizes that he actually has other priorities more than fighting Goku, and thus that's what he atones for in the final atonement. Now, I'll say this. I don't think Majin Vegeta is like my favorite form of Vegeta, and I think a lot of people would disagree with that. I'll give you that. Potentially, that could make him overrated by default, but that's about as far as I could go. I don't think that he's a character that I don't see hype with, you know? The final atonement, the fight against Goku and everything. Those two moments were like clean as shit. So I don't say I don't see the hype. He's a very hype beast character, especially with the first thing he does is just straight up murk everybody and almost his wife. However, I'll give you that he's not my favorite version of Vegeta. I think that's kind of a little crazy. The people who like Goku because he's stronger than Vegeta are the same people who like MCs that have never won a one-on-one fight without plot armor. If you think I'm smoking, name an important fight Goku won without help aside from Frieza. Okay? Major caveat to say aside from beating Frieza. I would say Goku, sure. Goku didn't defeat Jiren one-on-one. You know, because at the end of the day, he couldn't master the form, anything like that. But outside of Super, you know what? Fuck this. Let's just play his game, actually. Original Dragon Ball stomps the Red Ribbon Army. Honestly, a lot of times in a regular. Oh my God, wait a minute. He low-key does a lot in the original. Okay, all right. It just hit me. I'm like, holy shit. He beat the shit out of Demon King Piccolo, then his Tot, then the Red Ribbon Army. Then he gets to the Saiyan Saga, cucks Nappa. Sure, he needed help with fucking Raditz, and sure, he needed help with Vegeta. At that point, those ones, I don't even think make the character worse. I think that was actually good that he wasn't able to just do it. But he put up a fight. He put up a hell of a fight, and it's narratively implied that, like, had he kept his tail, that fight is not stalemate. Let me be clear. I do think Vegeta wins regardless, but it's a much closer fight if he had embraced his Saiyan heritage earlier, hence the whole nature versus nurture thing. Regardless, Frieza you've disqualified for some reason, but again, he sweeps the Ginyu Force until he gets his body switch. He's just hilariously sweeping them. If you count, okay, but he got his body swapped. I mean, I guess that's kind of dishonest. You know, the stronger character got hoed, so GG's. Then you go to the Cell Saga. He was on the bench the entire time, so I suppose he didn't beat them. However, as someone mentioned in chat, he beat Frieza again. Maybe you don't care about that. And then he beats King Cold. In the Buu Saga, he's trolling the entire time, but he could have beaten Fat Buu. That is just straight up implied. And same thing with the, with Vegeta. So those are 2 W's right there. But if you don't count them, I understand that. Didn't beat Beerus. No shit, Sherlock. Beerus is stronger than them. Beerus is stronger than pretty much everybody not named like an Angel or Zeno. Frieza, I guess Frieza the second time, I guess he had help because, you know, he got shot with a ray gun, but then that's kind of weird because Frieza had help there, but fine. Universe 6 tournament, he beats Winnie the Pooh, he loses to Frost, then he hops in and fights Hit, crashes out, so I guess he lost that fight. Yeah, I forgot how it ended for a second. Then you go to the tournament of power. Oh, then you go to Zamasu, obviously he had help. Nigga lost to Zamasu like 5 times. You go to tournament of power. You go to the Tournament of Power, dubs the shit out of Kefla, who's probably stronger than everybody we've mentioned thus far, outside of, you know, Frieza later on in the series, I guess. And then Jiren, which yet again, I'm going to say, if you view his fight against Jiren as a LOL, you lost moment more than anything else, I guess, gang. But he literally proved he was stronger than Jiren and just couldn't handle the transformation that he just unlocked. You get to the manga, this argument gets even worse because he gets a clean-cut dub to the point of giving Buddy a senzu bean. So yeah, I just don't I just don't like this argument for Goku. But then furthermore, there's multiple reasons to like Goku more than just Vegeta, personally. But that's there. Need help with Broly. Oh yeah, need help with Broly too, of course. Absolutely. Goku always needs help. Yeah, the point is his power is with the strength in others. That's kind of like why I took that one kind of as a joke, because that's the whole point of the series. That like, hey gang, it's the whole point of the Tournament of Power even. That absolute strength is not necessarily your own. It's the reason why in the Buu Saga, hey, Earth needs to defend itself. That was from your boy Vegeta. Look at you now. Like, that was from Vegeta. And literally, he's taking the strength of everyone in the universe to defeat the big bad. This has always been consistent with Goku. In the Cell Saga, he's even on the bench and everyone steps up for him. The Namek, sure, that's where Goku gets a clean dub to you, but the whole point is you removed one of his friends and it pissed him the fuck off. So, that's just consistent with Goku. I don't understand how that would be a negative for the character. This is one of the most important wishes in Dragon Ball. If Bulma were to wish for Goku and Vegeta to come to Earth instead of her cosmetics, we don't get Beast Gohan and we probably don't see Orange Piccolo, which is extra firepower towards the Black Frieza issue. In a weird way, you're not wrong. Crazy gift to use. In a weird way, you're not wrong. In a very weird way. I don't necessarily disagree. I just don't know if it's the most important, but it is pretty important. Yeah, no, actually, yeah, I can see that. Best take today? Yeah, that Loki was. When people talk about potential of a character, they talk about how strong a character is now instead of how strong a character could become. Goten is brought up not based on current strength, but how strong he could be compared to how Gohan or Goku were at their age. I think potential isn't about how strong you are now. I think a lot of people get that. The issue is people don't assess what potential itself is properly in the sense of that growth. I think you having the age argument actually is dishonest to what potential truly is. Potential isn't just youngest person that is strong. Potential is who could reach a high unlike 90% of others. And I don't think Goten has been illustrated to be a character that has this Gohan-like, Frieza-like, Broly-like, Jiren-like, hell, this'll get y'all mad, Goku-like potential, considering, honestly, let alone I could just cheat and talk about the manga, but considering how, like, he hasn't shown this promise or interest into combat as you think he would be. Hell, let me paint you an example. Goten is a Super Saiyan so fucking early. With Gotenks, he hit Super Saiyan 3. That's insane. However, when we're talking about just that specific character, no fusion, he hasn't shown anything past that for quite some time. for quite some time. Now, if you want to say Gotenks has insane potential, that I'd agree with, because if Goten and Trunks just lock the fuck in, that fusion's going to be crazy. I think it's already kind of pseudo. It's not implied, because I've seen some people try to jump the gun. I disagree with it, but it is kind of like a If Gotenks fuses right now, is he fucking with Gohan? Probably not. But is he fucking with Gohan? So that's already something that's like a thing. I think Gotenks has potential. I don't think Goten has this absurd Gohan level potential and things like that, you know? But that's just me. Dragon Ball Super Vegeta in the manga is better than Z Vegeta. Not saying that Z Vegeta is bad. It depends what you like. I'm not going to say this is the worst take. I disagree, but I'm not going to say it's the worst take. There's two sides of the spectrum. You can have the Vegeta that has essentially accepted who he is. You have the Vegeta that is essentially on some shit like, yo, I'm trying to be stronger than this nigga, but I'm not going to glaze him the entire time. And then you have a contrast of, hey, seeing somebody essentially crash out and go through a crisis is more entertaining. It depends what you like, honestly. Alter Ego was introduced to be equal to Goku's TUI, but it lost almost immediately because he took too much damage. The writers weren't thinking properly when making this, and it looks like another FU to my Glorious Prince. Yeah, actually, no. It just makes sure your Glorious Prince isn't the most broken character in all of Dragon Ball. That was actually brilliant of them to make sure immediately, hey, there's still a limit. The nigga can't just get his arms cut off, his head cut off, his neck cut off, and that nigga's torso just stomps. You know what I mean? It definitely made sense to establish that, hey, he can't just anybody in the verse because he can take damage. Furthermore, it also like makes sure that you don't have to just behead Vegeta to beat him. And if you, I don't know if I need to reread it, but gang, he got fucked up. Like, chat, I'm not gonna lie. He got his ass kicked. Like, how much more do you want the nigga to get beat up for you to accept that, okay, he's gonna lose the fight? He got the shit kicked out of him. God damn. He got the shit kicked out of him by a nigga that said, I want to be the strongest. And you're mad. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that shit was crazy. There's always a limit to absorption. Yeah, it's not nullification, it's absorption. Dragon Ball Super has better arcs than Dragon Ball Z, those being Goku Black and Moro. Goku Black, Zamasu, and Moro have better motivations and cooler scenes than Frieza, Cell, and Buu combined. Also, GT is better than original Dragon Ball 2, and the Super 17 arc solos the storytelling. Look, I get it. Maybe you want me to watch this video, so this is your way of agenda pushing. You know, I'm gonna get Sage mad here, and when that happens, bet ball up top. But I'm not gonna lie, this is just straight up bait. Not only is it straight up bait, I don't think you believe but maybe one thing in here. Just want me to watch this video. Oh, there it goes. There you go. Every time. All right, chat. Let me know who's going to be the misunderutilized, wasted potential character in 2025. You guys, y'all stayed exactly the same. New year, same TSO. But TSO is going to grow, so maybe perhaps more of you will expand, follow me on Twitter, and therefore eventually someone who's smart will have a hot take. Take care, stay blessed. See you next time.